Hello, my name is Christine Hakkola. I'm a Canadian certified counselor, a somatic experiencing practitioner, a private success coach, and a yoga and meditation practitioner and teacher of nearly 20 years. I've been asked today to do a 30-minute guided meditation for the students, staff, faculty, and alumni of Yorkville University. I too am a fellow Yorkville University graduate and alumni. Graduated in 2015 from the Master's of Arts in Counselling Psychology program. Today's meditation will be broken down into 3 parts, so you can experience the entire meditation as one, or once you've watched it once, if there's a particular part that you resonate with or need to come back to on a particular day for any reason, you can also do this meditation in 3 various parts. And once you've experienced it a couple of times, it might be something that you simply do for yourself and incorporate into your own practice and your own daily rituals. At this time, during the situation of COVID-19, a lot of us are experiencing tremendous uncertainty, perhaps a lot of emotions such as frustration, fear, stress, anxiety. Perhaps old issues we had thought we had dealt with in the past are resurfacing, and new challenges are arising daily as we face the uncertain times that are with us right now and that lie ahead. So my hope and intention is to create a space here over the next 25 to 30 minutes where we can really tap into the present moment, begin to regulate our nervous systems, and work with some of these overwhelming emotions that have been moving through all of us, us individually, in our families, communities, and globally. So before we begin, I'll ask you to take a few moments, especially if you're new to the practice of visualization or mindfulness or meditation, and simply find a comfortable seat. I'm seated on the ground with a cushion beneath me, supporting my hips slightly higher than my feet and my knees. You can do this sitting in a chair. You can even do it lying down, although you may be prone to falling asleep if you're in a lying down position, which is perfectly fine. I always trust if one falls asleep during meditation, then that's exactly what's needed at the time. If you have discomfort in your hips or your back, feel free to use a support to lean against. You can lean against a wall behind you or seated in a chair that has a back. Just make sure that whatever position you're in, your knees are either at the height of your hip bones or preferably slightly lower so that your legs don't fall asleep and that your spine is upright. Just go ahead and lift your shoulders slightly up and back, broadening across your chest and your collarbones. And I'll invite you to begin actually with your eyes open. In this first part of the exercise, we'll call it Orienting. I invite you just to take a few moments to look around the room, to look around the space that you're in. As you begin to bring your attention into the present moment, to simply notice what's around you. Allow your eyes to fall on at least 3 different things, preferably things that you experience as either neutral or pleasant. If there's a piece of artwork or a photo or an object that brings pleasant memories, or just creates either a neutral or pleasant sense within you, just allow yourself to take it in. And also notice any sounds around you. In my home here, I can hear the light sounds of the rain outside the window. I can hear the light sound of the furnace kicking in. If it's windy where you are, you might notice some rustling in the trees, or any other sounds of your household, perhaps voices of your family, the rustling of a cat or a dog, or any other sounds that are familiar to you. And you might also notice if there's any particular smell in the air. If you live in a large city or an apartment or condo building, there's perhaps smells that you're familiar with, both outdoors and within your building, that you can bring into your conscious awareness now. If you live in a quieter, more suburban or rural area, there's going to be different smells associated with that. Maybe you're lucky enough to live in the forest or in an area with fresh air. You can smell the trees. If you have a fireplace in your home like I do, there's often the smell of the fire, of burned wood. If someone is making a meal or if you've made one, can you smell the smells of the food coming from your kitchen? And if no smells come to mind, that's all right too. So this grounding exercise of orienting is just a very simple way to bring our attention into the present moment. Many times when we get overrun by uncomfortable emotions and feelings, it's because our attention is anywhere but here. Often our attention has run away with either thoughts from the past or worries about the future. And by keeping our eyes open and simply attending to the things that we see, hear, smell, even taste or touch in the present moment, it's a beginning of starting to regulate the present moment, regulating your nervous system in the present moment. So I invite you now in this second part, you're welcome to keep your eyes open, especially if you're new to these practices, or if by closing your eyes you experience overwhelm or any uncomfortable or unpleasant emotions that just feel like too much. Again, I invite you to open your eyes and return to the first part, the first exercise, at any point in time that you wish to do so. If you're ready to close your eyes, that sounds like an interesting invitation to you. Just go ahead and allow your eyes to close. And you might begin here by noticing the rhythm of your breath without trying to alter or change it in any way. Simply notice how, whether we attend to it or not with our attention, your breath is constantly rhythmic and flowing, moving in and out of your body. As you attend to it here, as you've spent already a few minutes bringing your attention into the present moment, you might notice your breath softening a little, perhaps even deepening and lengthening. Again, without forcing, but just noticing the natural rhythm of the inhale through your nose, filling your lungs, expanding your rib cage and your belly, and the natural rhythm of your exhale as belly collapses, ribs contract, and the air pours out of your lungs and through your nostrils. The second part we'll call resourcing. It's a wonderful way to continue to anchor your attention both into the present moment but into your body. To calm any feelings of stress, anxiety, worry, frustration, fear, anger, sadness. We invite you to call to mind something or someone that brings you a lot of pleasure. It might even be one of the objects that you saw in the room earlier, a photo or an object or a piece of art. It might be a person. It could be a place. It might be a beach on the ocean. It could be an animal. It could be a place in nature that you love. It could be a child or a grandparent or a spouse, partner, or best friend. It could even be your favorite food, or your favorite hobby or activity. Just take a moment now, and if you haven't already, call to mind something that brings you pleasure. As you allow yourself to create a more vivid image in your mind's eye of that pleasant memory, that pleasant thought, I ask you to notice where you feel a related sensation in your body. Perhaps as you think of that person or animal or place or activity, you feel maybe a lightness in your heart, or a fluttering in your stomach, or a tingling in your fingers, whatever it is. And if at first you don't notice anything in particular, that's okay too. Just allow your attention to remain with the thought of that pleasant memory, person, object, experience. As you think about it, perhaps fill it out in its imagery, in your memory, in your mind's eye. Just begin to get curious. Where in your body do you experience a related pleasant sensation? And as you notice, even if it's very subtle, a related sensation in your body, just allow your attention to go there. If it's a quality of lightness or softness, fluttering, or even some energy, allow yourself to get curious about now, what else do you notice related to that sensation? Are there other pleasant sensations that that thought or memory or person brings when you call them to mind? If the first sensation was in your chest, perhaps you notice a related sensation in the shoulders or the stomach or on your face. And again, there's nothing that's supposed to happen here. Whether you notice a lot or a little or nothing at all, that's completely fine. But as you maintain awareness of that pleasant thought or memory or person or animal, ask yourself what else you notice in your body. What other related sensation might you be experiencing? And if you've noticed 2 or 3 sensations already, you might continue for a time here, asking yourself, and what else do I notice? And after that, what else do I notice? And if there's only one sensation or none at all, that's okay too. Start with the memory, filling it out in your mind's eye, and just be patient. If you're experiencing a number of sensations, more come as you ask yourself, what else? You may reach a point where you feel the sensations related to that memory or thought or person in all of the areas of your body. You feel a warmth or a lightness or a softness or some space all over from head to toe, inside to out. And wherever you are, just allow yourself to be with that memory and those sensations. Giving yourself all the time and space you need here. There's no rush. For many of you, you may choose to simply pause here. You can pause the video, pause the audio. Just stay right here, noticing the felt sensations of your body. Perhaps shifting attention back to the thought, the memory, or even returning your attention to your breath, noticing its quality, whether or not it's changed, deepened, or lengthened. You can stay here for as long as you like, a minute, 5, 10, however long it feels pleasant. However, if you'd like to continue along to the third part, the third part of this meditation involves working with uncomfortable emotions. Emotions like anxiety, fear, sadness, grief, frustration, anger, whatever it is. And I'll invite you to do the same thing we did in the last exercise. As I name those possible emotions, or perhaps you name a different one for yourself, allow yourself to become curious about where that emotion lives in your body. If it's anxiety, do you feel tingling in your fingers or feet? Do you feel maybe a knot in your stomach or a tightness in your chest? Again, there's no right or wrong. There's nothing that you're meant to be feeling. Just notice what's true for you. If it's anger, notice again where that lives inside of you. And if it's too much to attend to all of it at once, just pick a tiny part, one part of your body, or one piece of the sensation. And if at any point it becomes too much to focus your attention on your body, on those uncomfortable emotions, you can go back to the previous exercise or even the one before, focusing on a resource, a pleasant memory, or even opening your eyes and reorienting yourself to the room. But if you've located an uncomfortable sensation in your body related to an emotion like anxiety, fear, frustration, anger, grief, I invite you to place your attention on that sensation. If there are multiple aspects to it, please just pick one. Perhaps you focus on a tightness in your chest or your throat, a clenching in your jaw or a furrowing of your brow, buzzing in your stomach or discomfort in your arms or legs, whatever it is. And as you attend to it, become more and more curious about the quality of the sensation. How much space does it take up? How does it change as you observe it? Does it have a related color or image with it? How intense is it? And often what happens, not always, but often, when we keep our attention with an uncomfortable sensation, it begins to shift. If that doesn't happen for you, it's perfectly okay. You can stay with it if that's available. Or you can go back to one of the two previous exercises. But if it does shift, you might notice it's kind of a dropping or a shifting such that it becomes a little bit less intense. And if and when that happens, notice how you experience that. ask you to notice is the difference between the quality of the sensation when you first attended to it and what happens when it releases or drops or softens just a little bit, even if it's just 1 or 2%. And then just kind of noticing that gap, that subtle shift in the quality of the sensation. And now, as you attend to the new quality of sensation, continuing to be curious without trying to do anything in particular, just notice. And after some time, whether it's a few seconds or a minute or more, you may notice another subtle change, another drop or shift in the sensation. For many of you, you'll notice it as a lessening, an easing up. And again, I invite you to notice the difference. What's that like as the quality of the sensation changes? Just allowing all the space and time for these sensations and emotions. And many times, after you do that 3 times, you experience 3 different levels of the emotion or sensation. You might notice more of a difference, more opening or softness, more ease. And at this point, you may choose to do this same exercise with another sensation in the body, either related to that emotion, the initial emotion you are working with, or a different emotion if there's more than one that's present with you. You can do this exercise attending to the uncomfortable sensation, waiting until it drops down 3 times. You can do that as much as you like. I invite you only to stay with it as much as it feels pleasant. If at any point it starts to become too much or it feels more like a chore or something uncomfortable, just stop. Often just 1 or 2 rounds is more than enough. And again, you can go back to the resourcing, calling to mind that pleasant or joyful image or memory or person. And if your eyes are still closed, I do invite you to open them. And together we'll all go back to the first exercise, just briefly reorienting yourself to the room, taking in the sights around you. Just notice if anything's different. If the room looks different to you. Notice how you feel different. Any changes in the quality of your breath or the sensations in your body. I invite you to take a full deep breath in and exhale. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you and your family, your loved ones and friends and colleagues good health, peace, and ease through this time. Thank you.